Yes, because you see, from it grew for example, if we, let's take the example of the founder of Bolt.
Oh, no.
He is a product of Tiger Leap program.
Yeah.
To internet.
Okay, Kadri, this is you. Okay, I'm going to bring in this aspect in. You brought in the Estonia president, came to Kenya,
Yes.
or a couple of years back.
Yes.
And one of the conversations that I had, and I asked one of our ministers at the time, was, I know the aspect of. I actually stood up to ask a question. And I asked very intentionally because I knew this history of Estonia. Mm-hmm. And I knew it was through an act of parliament that internet was created, was passed as it as a basic need.
Basic right.
Or as a basic right. Internet is a basic right in Estonia. And I remember asking one of the ministers at the time, whether could you then please, I'm just asking you, I know it sounds tiny, but just bring a motion into parliament to declare internet as a basic right in Kenya. The answer I got was out of this world. Go and Google it one of these days. But that aspect of passing it through parliament completely changed Estonia. Mm. It made, and this I'm asking, that aspect of passing it through parliament and getting it ingrained in the constitution or in the way of life from a policy perspective, how did that impact Estonia?
Well, it gave, number one, it communicated the vision. That this is how Estonia will be, an information society, knowledge society, digital society.
Wow.
And then from there came the steps that Estonia took. So, number one, connecting all schools to internet, creating, and you mentioned that gave us the leapfrog. Now Estonia considers frog a rather small animal. We do tiger leap.
Oh, so that's why everybody was saying the tiger leap.
Yes. So Estonia.
You understand things later.
In 1996, the program that started in schools was called Tiger Leap. Why Tiger Leap is because, you see, at that point in time, a lot of the innovation and a lot of, the countries that were at the forefront were the Far East, the tigers. And so Estonia considered a good, strong tiger leap a way for us to be ahead of everybody else.
When you say communicated the vision, I just want to say how right you are. These terms, I've had them in every room that I've entered. And now you're giving me context to where the terms come from. It is through not just writing them down, writing the vision and making it plain, but also the manner in which it was communicated to Estonia. We can say that you only 1-point-something million, however, it was still done and effectively.
Yeah. And you see, this is where branding these specific aspects was necessary. So we had the Tiger Leap program, which then, started the process in schools. After that, we had Look into the World program, which now targeted the adults. And 10% of all adults in Estonia got trained in how to use internet to look into the world through websites and, everything that allows you to see into the world.
So when you talk about the vision is then packaged into an educational program that is then brought all the way into the education system, packaged in two ways. What you've just said is the children
and adults.
It is taught in the schools.
So adults had these computer sessions in public libraries. And so public libraries were equipped with internet, were equipped with computers, and adults would go into the public libraries to gain that knowledge.
Oh my God. Because they haven't caught up. Just because you want them to get here, it's not that they have computers in their home.
Yeah, and see, because here we are
They're
looking
not
at...
Kadri who has seen an IBM.
Yeah, so because we are talking last century. Just consider that here we're talking 96, 97, 98.
Oh my God. This is why this is so important. Our excuse that they are poor places. The excuse that Africa uses is that there are some places this thing can't go. But what you're saying is, that's not an excuse.
Not in 2025.
Anybody can be educated on computers, or you know what I mean, educated on whatever.
Absolutely.
The vision.
Yes, and so because Estonia was heading into now being able to start to engage with its citizens through digital tools. Already from 1999, Estonia started to declare taxes digitally.
Okay. Kadri, I know I may lose a couple of people here. I don't want to lose them.
Yes.
When the policy is put in place, one of the things that you said is digital then becomes being put. Let's talk about the schools. The schools pre-digital, and now all the schools have digital.
Yes.
And this started from 1996.
Yes, 1998 specifically is when all schools were connected to internet and had, at that point, computer labs, because we're talking back then.
Wow.
That was the era of desktop computers.
Yes.
Laptop computers were not yet there.
And the students are being communicated to this vision, the Tiger Leap.
Yes, the Tiger Leap program, yes.
What are they being told?
Oh, they are learning how to do coding and programming, and they are learning digital skills in classroom, and all of that.
Again, I toured a school with you. And as somebody who's interviewed people from Meta and who has a VR headset, I'm obsessed with that. Again, for context, I want to say I toured a public school. But as we clearly heard from you, what did you say about schools? The best school to go to?
Is the one which is nearest to you.
One of the classes that we entered was robotics and AI and virtual reality. So this system that I was seeing started back in 1998.
Yeah.
Right now, the 7th grade lesson, I think that English, they are using the virtual reality, so they can also look that. But this classroom, the future classroom, as we call that, we opened that 10 years ago, and then it was really innovative. There are many robotical things, also virtual reality things, and so on. But at first it was something new. But right now, I think that many Estonian schools have that when you want that. So mostly in Estonian schools, the robotics are as a hobby group, but after school activities. But in our school, it is part of the curriculum, and everyone starts that in the grade 1. You was also in the first grade. You were, yes. Maybe this robotics, it is not all about the programming. There are actually many other skills what they are learning there, because all the activities there are in the groups, so they have to know how to work together. And this is a really hard thing at first. Then all the things are as challenges. They have a project. They have to find out the background of some problems, getting the information, then they have to solve that problem. Maybe they have to use also programming there. Mostly yes, sometimes maybe not. So, and after that, they also always have to present their working results. So this is this kind of thing there where there are different skills. The problem solving, how to work together. So many different things what they learn there. This programming is also little thing only. So we use also the virtual reality from grade 4, and we use that only in the subject lesson. So we are not saying that you are allowed to play whatever you want there, only for the learning goal. So, for example, it is very popular that they are using that in the foreign language lessons. For example, to go to the London tour, or in the music to go to the maybe some famous music house or opera house. But yes, also for example in the geography, to understand what kind of place is desert, and then compare that with the Antarctica, or for example, so this kind of things. This virtual reality take place only maybe few minutes, but it is more important that what you are doing before that and what you are doing after, why you looked at. Because at first the children are very interested in that virtual reality, but actually when you are using that quite often, then it is like the workbook already. Of course, like the Chromebooks or the laptops, it is the same. When you use it every day, they understand that this is for the learning, you have to do that work, so it is like the workbook actually.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter, but let's go and look what they are doing there, and then
So the topic was London. First we read the text in our textbook, then they learned to retell the text. We worked with the text, then we had a little test paper, they answered the questions about London. We watched some videos in the classroom about Tower of London, and now this was the final step to travel in London, yes, with the help of the glasses, ER glasses.
And in grade 1, they are starting with those spheros. So you can program that with your iPad. So at first it is those Lego spheros. But in the first grade they are also using the Lego spikes. So this kind of robots in the first and second grade. From the third grade, they are using the Lego EV3. From the third grade, and from the fifth or sixth grade, it depends by the class. Then they are starting to use the MBOT Rangers. So every week they have 2 lessons of robotics. Yes. So, and this is, in our school it is compulsory for everyone. In the second grade they are also using those microbits, but when you compare these microbits with the Lego, then it is not so interesting for the children. But they are doing many handicraft things also on project. For example, they are using different materials, paper, maybe something else, to build something, and then they are also including that. So these kind of things they are doing. Yes, 10 years ago we was starting with those keyboards, but we can't do it anymore because right now in Estonian kindergartens, when the children is 3 years old, they all are using those things. Very often it can be that when they come to school, then some of the kindergartens they have already learned to program that robot. So it depends by the kindergarten.
Is the kindergarten compulsory?
And I've said, and a video has just played where the teacher is explaining how this robotics are even taught from kindergarten.
That's correct. And so the robotics programs moved into kindergarten in the 2000 and somethings. I mean, I don't know exactly the dates, because that's the time when education technology became a subject to be taught, and education technologists as specialists were placed into schools.
Tiger Leap, in terms of the education system, and if you notice I'm dwelling here, became part of the DNA of Estonians.
Yes, because you see, from it, grew for example, if we let's take the example of the founder of Bolt.
Oh, no.
He is a product of Tiger Leap program.
Yeah. First of all, people here are now just finding out that Bolt is from Estonia.
Yes.
Even the trip we went to, I remember Kadri said, download the Bolt app because here we keep time and some of you are going to need to use the Bolt app. And the Bolt app was created in Estonia. It's an Estonian product.
Yes, and the founder, Markus Willing specifically, when he, together with his brother, founded Bolt, I think he was maybe 20 years old. He's right now 30. He's just turned 30.
But there's
31.
also another 23-year-old billionaire
Yes.
who's built a unicorn who...
That's right. That's right. I mean, Estonia has right now 10 unicorns already.
And a unicorn, for context, is a company that is valued at $1 billion and more.
Yes.
Okay, back to 19. So this Tiger Leap, I've understood it. I've understood what it's for and how it fits into the vision and what demographic it's for.
Mm-hmm.
But you said now there's another course for the adults.
Adults, look into the world.
In 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Hear me out, guys. We are here in Estonia, the city of Tallinn.
Yeah,
And I'm surrounded by some 3 other crazy musketeers.
that's us.
And I'm not even sure what I'm about to say, but
The wise.
but the point is, we want to tell you everything we are learning here so that you can learn something, and you can tell somebody else and somebody else and somebody else.
I love it.
Okay? So, my takeaways for today. I was reminded of something that Steve Ballmer said. This is the former CEO of Microsoft. He was asked, what is the one word that you can use to describe wealth? And he said, creativity.
Oh.
Creativity.
Okay.
The city of Tallinn, they call it the testbed of innovation. This is where people come to experiment their ideas. There is one example they gave.
Yeah.
These guys, they came with a noise management solution.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah. And they discovered something very interesting, because the reason why this place is known as a testbed of innovation is because they've simulated they've simulated the city. So you can come in and test your idea in almost a very real environment.
Right.
So they discovered something very interesting. Every day at 5:22 a.m., the noise would spike up. And they tried to figure out what was it. And they discovered that 5:22 a.m. is when people started sweeping the streets. So it was causing noise.
Yeah.
That was really amazing.
Yeah.
But the thing is this, if you want to be creative, you need to create a safe space to test your ideas.
Right. Wow, that's good.
Test bed of innovation.
That's a nice one.
That's a nice one. You love it. No. I think there's another one. There's another one. There's another one. Cash flows. Cash flows. Creativity breeds cash flows.
Creativity boosts cash flows.
We visited the game dev.
Yeah.
Yep,
Game dev.
yep.
Game dev.
Game development.
Yeah.
And one statistic stood out for me.
Yeah.
The gamers, the biggest fraction of the biggest proportion of gamers were between 45 years and 64 years. And I was like, wait a minute, how?
Truth. It's
What
true.
are the
youngins doing?
what are the young guys doing? What are the young guys doing? So we realized because most of the people here, 1 out of 10 people here are entrepreneurs.
Right.
By the time they are 45 years, their businesses are stable, they have cash flows, and they just show up in the office, they make sure everything is okay, they go back home. What do?
Have time.
They are there.
That's what it is. That's the spoon.
Cash flows.
Creativity and cash flows. I see that.
And the third one,
You are thinking a lot today, man.
creativity creates rest. The best creativity must lead to rest.
Wow, the best creativity.
The best creativity must lead to rest. If you have an idea and it does not lead you to rest, then you'll work until you die.
Bro.
So these guys, when their women give birth, they not only register their children from their hospital bed, even the father,
Yes.
but they even they start their leave for 1.5 years, paid leave, 1.5 years.
Wow.
Not just the woman, even the man has a choice.
Wow.
Guys, creativity must lead you to rest.
Wow.
The last one.
Yeah.
The president of this country is called Kariz. He's a Kenyan. He's a Kenyan. Pass the spoon. Pass the spoon. Pass the spoon.
All right. I have a lot, like this guy, Pius, he has a lot, but I'm going to be very brief today. I see children around, and I've seen lots of children around, but the statistic here is that the population of Estonia has stagnated. It's not going to grow big, it's not going to go small.
Right.
They are just reproducing themselves. So I'm thinking to them, well, how are they going to be in 20 years from now? Their population is going to be decreasing. They're a country of 1.3 million.
That's right.
Yep.
So when they're building businesses, they're not building businesses for 1.3. They're building businesses for the rest of the world.
8 billion people.
8 billion people.
I love it. Yeah.
So Pius was telling me, telling us this yesterday, that they are a rich family with one child. Whereas for us, we are a poor family with many kids. So I think the thing that I'm learning here is to build, just don't build for yourself. Build for others. That is how you will scale.
How you scale.
Pass the spoon.
Pass the spoon. There's a book that's going to come out. It's going to be written by somebody who was on this trip. The book's going to be called Golden Threads.
Golden thread.
Golden Threads.
Yes.
And the book is going to be about the power of choice.
I was in that conversation.
You were in that conversation?
Yes.
That's what's up. Let me give you a hand, because these my brothers are smart and they're going to help you with the business choices. But at the end of the day, the choices that you make are more important than the motivation that you get. When a person makes a choice today, the reverberation of that choice will hit their children, their children's children, and their children's and their children's children's children. And a lot of people who are watching this video are making choices that are hitting their children, their children's children, and their children's children badly. You need to decide right now the repercussions of the choice you make. You have to calibrate the decisions you're making. What are you winning? What are you losing? What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to give up? What are you willing to invest in? Because at the end of the day, it comes down to that choice. And if you get that choice right, your children, your children's children, and your children's children's children will win. But if you get it wrong, all of them lose. Pass the spoon?
Pass the spoon. Maze, today you're
Bro,
zen, man.
I know. That girl said that thing and left me feeling, pass the spoon. I've got two things to say. There's a saying that says that the grass is green on the other side. Can you see the greener grass here? Can you see the greener grass here?
It looks white.
I'm being honest. Can you see the greener grass here? We're on the other side. The whole of today we have done a lot and gone to a lot of different places. In the morning went to the Estonia Chamber of Commerce. We've gone to security, cyber security conversations. We went to the mall, and at the end of the day we went to a whole game development center. The one thing that I noticed from that place on every single conversation that I was having with the different people there is that they were looking at our grass. They were looking at our grass. we at home have a tendency to always look at the grass being greener on the other side, not knowing that our grass is so amazing.
They were actually asking.
They
yes.
were all asking about entering into our space so that they can have a piece of our grass.
Wow.
And for me, the best conversations that I had today, despite all of these different places that I had, was with the Kenyans that I sat with in the bus as we moved or walked with. And I was just like, oh my God, you're telling me we could have started this show past the spoon in Kenya.
Yes,
that's true.
But I took you for granted, you for granted, and you for granted. Or maybe my eyes hadn't even seen the potential of what it is that we could be creating at home.
That's
true, man.
I don't need to leave my geographical boundaries.
Yes.
Because the grass that we have
Is also green.
is green, and it is not, and it is not a 50 by 100.
Because the grass.
That grass has acres and acres and acres.
You know the grass is green where
It's
you
not like a
water
prot.
My guy, Kenya is an amazing, Africa is an amazing, amazing nation. You're talking about those guys building for more people?
Yes.
Those guys are looking at everybody else's grass and trying to get there.
Yeah.
We have grass that we need to begin to water, look at, grow on, and enjoy.
That's
And you know what I'm going to do today? Today I'm going to pass the mic. Pass the mic?
Pass the spoon.
Pass the spoon. Pass the spoon. I'm passing the spoon to you, and I'm challenging you. What is it that you're sitting on? What is it that you can start doing today, right now, where you are? You know what I want you to do? Write it in the comments, and hold on, it doesn't end there. Tag somebody and pass the spoon to them. And you know what? Put a spoon emoji. Do you know why? Because when we pass the spoon, we can all eat.
Everyone gets